What's up, guys? Isaac Payne here, and welcome to Small Business Conversations, episode 10. Today, we got a very special guest with us. It's a new company based out of Chilliwack, and they specialize in making gourmet cinnamon buns, baked goods, as well as savory buns and soups. They got an interesting story, new company, and can't wait to hear all about it. Today, we have with us one of the founders and owners, Kerry. Welcome, Kerry.
All right, thanks so much, Isaac. I appreciate you having me on.
No, thank you for coming out. I saw your guys' spot actually on the news, and believe it or not, I'm a sucker for peanut butter, and I saw the peanut butter icing cinnamon buns, and I was mesmerized to say the least. So I said, hey, you know what? I need to see if I can reach out to these guys and see if they'd be willing to chat for a few minutes and talk about their story and everything. It sounds like you guys have an amazing product. So how did SinAmen Bun Co get started?
Right. So I have been in the industry for basically most of my career. Done a few other things as well, but I was sous chef at the Fraser River Lodge out in Agassiz when COVID happened. And it's a big wedding venue and international travel for fishermen and stuff. So all the areas that could possibly be affected by COVID was hit in that business. And so my wife, she's back there full time now, but we were both laid off at the time. And so we were at home. This is like late March, and I baked a batch of cinnamon buns, which I hadn't done for a little while. And we took some pictures, and people were just asking like crazy, where can I buy these? I want to get a hold of them. And so my wife, Claudette, says, hey, well, why don't we see if we can do something with this? And so the owners of the lodge allowed us to use their commercial kitchen. And we took pre-orders. And every Sunday I'd go in at like 2, 3 in the morning, I'd bake, and then I'd deliver them door to door with all pre-orders. And so we started doing that. And within the first 2 or 3 weeks, we were selling like up to 30 dozen buns every Sunday. And said, well, there's obviously a demand there, so let's see if we can pursue it a little.
Wow, that's pretty interesting. And so you guys both just got laid off, you said, and you decided to just pursue a skill set and a passion that you had anyways?
Exactly, yeah. So we didn't think that it would take off like it has now. I mean, it's been incredible, right? But we thought, well, to make ends meet and get a little bit busy at least, we would try that. And we had owned a previous business, and we had a couple of social media accounts that we had dormant with already a bunch of followers. And so for us, it was a little bit easier than completely scratch. So we changed the name of what that social media stuff was, and we launched. And like I say, within probably 2 weeks, we were selling almost as many as I could make in a morning every Sunday. So.
Well, that's very impressive. That's a great problem to have for any business. I mean, a lineup out the door and being able to sell out of product every single time is huge.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so then after it started taking off, then we started thinking, well, maybe this could be like a full-time thing. And so we made the decision that I would pursue this and not go back to the lodge cooking there. So.
Okay. So your wife got hired back, you mentioned?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she's back there. She's general manager of the lodge there. And so she was fishing and events manager before, and she's transitioned actually into a bigger role when she came back. So, which has been really great for her.
Okay. And now you're just full-time SinAmen Bun Co.
You bet. Yeah. Full-time plus. Sure.
No, that's awesome. That's a great story. And do you guys have a lot of staff now? What's your business looking like now?
Oh, we do. So we started with 4 staff. We started in November, and we got a solid dozen staff members anyways now. So yeah, it's ramped up a lot and very fast. So it's been quite a ride for sure.
No, that's tremendous. And are you guys just servicing the Chilliwack area? How far is your reach?
Yeah, so right now, I mean, with the news article, we've had people come as far as like North Van, all over the Lower Mainland, coming just to try the buns. And so every day we have some form of lineups, but Saturdays it's like wrapped around the building down the road. And people that have been in Chilliwack their whole lives have said they've never seen this corner as busy as it is now. So it's kind of fun.
Oh, that's impressive, man. No, I'm out in Richmond, And
Yeah,
part of me wants to make the trip because you guys look like you got some really amazing stuff there.
yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, yeah, we get and we do take pre-orders, and so people that are coming out, either that or even if somebody connects with us that's coming from out of town, we'll make sure we reserve buns. But we are selling out of our pre-orders. Typically, we launch our flavors for the week on Saturday afternoon, and by Sunday evening or Monday evening, they're sold out for the week for pre-orders, like a max amount of pre-orders we can take. And then so we have buns so that we can sell live to people as they show up. So
Oh man. Well, hey, like I said, that's a great problem to have.
yeah,
Uh,
it is. Yeah,
Now I
and
noticed you guys, is it just mostly word of mouth that you've been your marketing strategy?
it has been. Yeah, we haven't spent a dime on advertising. And when we first opened, like I say, it was very busy, and I had sales projections that I wanted to hit. Let's say within 6-8 months. You know how you plan when you're starting a new business, right? And within about 3 weeks, we were hitting those numbers already. Um,
Oh,
yeah. So and then now we're like probably about 3 times our my projected income in gross sales right now.
that's
So
that's oof.
yes,
That's tremendous. And I guess you could say for you, COVID's been a blessing in disguise then.
yeah, exactly. I mean, it comes with its hard things too, right? Like separation from family and all that. And so, of course, we have all that. But as far as the ability to pivot and see good out of it for us, it's been amazing. It's been a real blessing for sure.
Oh, that's tremendous. Now, why do you think you guys have had so much success so quickly?
Uh, it's a couple of things. I think first of all, cinnamon buns in general are such comfort food. And I think in the times where people are wanting comfort and wanting something like that, I think it really resonates with people. And I think that's part of it. And they are really good. For sure, that's a big driver. But I also think that people resonate with our story as well. And people really, really like the fact that there is a positive that came out of the pandemic when you hear constantly bombarded with stories of the negative and the loneliness and the isolation and all that stuff. And so people really sort of resonated with the story of us being able to turn something around during a negative time and making it real positive in our lives.
Oh, that's amazing, man. I mean, it's similar to what we're trying to do. I'm a former gym owner myself, and we had to close down due to the pandemic. A number of reasons, but mainly the pandemic was the main driver. And
Yeah,
this kind of catapulted us in this direction. We wanted to do something for small business, and we wanted to kind of start start doing something that's going to give back to local businesses and really create a platform for them. So in a way, it's been a blessing this in disguise for us as well.
yeah,
One door closes, but another one opens. So I understand you fully there.
that's right. And I've looked at your social media stuff and all that, and I sure appreciate your positivity and your encouragement for small businesses and for people, pivoting and stuff like just like you are. And it's an encouragement. So I appreciate that.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So how do you guys decide on your menu? You got some pretty unique flavors and stuff like that. How do you guys come up with your menu items?
Yeah, so we've just brainstormed, and if we see something that we think would translate into a cinnamon bun, we just jot it down. And so we have a big list of things that we've never made yet, and we have a big list of stuff we've already done. And so we go through, and we'll rotate. We're only a few months in now, but we're starting to do some of the popular flavors the second time now, as
Okay.
well as always adding new flavors as well. So yeah, it's just kind of figuring out what we think will work well with a cinnamon bun.
Okay. Now I don't know your whole menu. So what else? What other items do you guys have on your menu?
Well, so basically we have always have our original cinnamon bun with either cream cheese icing or the glaze icing, which is a option for vegans as well, because our bun is vegan. So if they go with the glaze, um, take care of them as well. And then we have other flavors, 3 or 4 other flavors that we rotate through. So they're just for the week. So once they're gone, you don't know when they're going to get back again. So people like to come out every week and try the different flavors, and soon getting their favorites. So this week we have what we're bringing back a really popular bun, which was a pecan pie sticky bun. So we do on the bottom of the bun, we do basically like a pecan pie filling with a bunch of pecans. We bake the buns on top of that, and then we flip them over after. And so you're just left with all the gooey goodness of pecan pie on top of a cinnamon bun.
Now, is the cinnamon bun always been like your signature thing? Like even before this company, is that something that you've always been like your go-to sort of
Uh,
baked good?
yeah, we have. We used to own a donut shop as well. Um,
Okay.
yeah, so we've done different forms of baking, and then we've owned. Mostly, I'm more a chef than a baker. We've owned restaurants and stuff, but even in our last restaurant, we did cinnamon buns. And I wouldn't say we didn't branch quite as far out as we are with flavors now, but we did some unique flavors then as well. And so usually twice a week we did cinnamon buns there, and we sold quite a few through our last restaurant as well. So it's
Okay.
definitely something that I've done before and really enjoy doing. So
No, that's pretty amazing. And as like, how many businesses have you had in the past?
this is our seventh that we've opened.
Okay, and the other ones are still open?
No, we've moved on. We've with a few places we've taken over where they were like um, pretty much run into the ground, and we were able to turn them over and then flip them or move on from there. And so looking for opportunity, we've always been sort of that way, looking for opportunity where it's there and see if we can add value to what's existing and then build it up. And we've done that quite successfully in a number of other businesses.
Oh, okay, I see. And but you also worked at the lodge as well, right?
Yeah, I'm a fishing guide there. Um, and as well, I used to be executive chef there years ago. And then I was just back in the off season to fishing. I was cooking as sous chef there.
Okay, so you kind of flip-flop between entrepreneur and working in the fish lodge then?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I see. Okay, I see. I get it. And what do you prefer then? Because it's hard to be both an employee and kind of an entrepreneur.
Yeah, so when I'm a fishing guide, I'm a contract worker, so I'm still my own business. And then they just basically all they do is tell me when and where to show up, and I get to take people fishing. So you
Okay.
can't go wrong with that life as well. But that's about 4 or 5 months a year where it would be steady enough to be considered full time. What I've done in the past is have somebody running my business while I've been on the river guiding, and it gives me sort of renewed strength. You get out from under the business for a while, and you come back with sort of renewed energy, and go that way. This last year obviously was uh, there was no guiding really to speak of either because most of our guests are international, and as well this year, like all the trips are getting pretty much canceled by now for the summertime. So this year I'm not going to go back to guiding. I'm going to just be in this business full time.
Okay. Well, that's fantastic. Now you guys have your own storefront now and everything?
Yeah, yeah, we got a nice storefront with good parking and easy access, which is great. And then we also have a truck that we're converting into a food truck right now as well.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We want to be able to get the buns out to different areas as well. It's part of the goal for hopefully by springtime we're going to have a food truck as well.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Now, again, I mean, I just want to pick your brain here. Like, how are you guys able to expand and grow so quickly? I know you got a great product, but is there any other marketing strategies that you guys are using or systems you have in place?
Right now, it's been very like we said earlier, it's been very organic. Um, and so, but we are working on definitely on our branding so that we can become recognizable. So if they see the truck and it looks like the building and it looks like the logos and stuff, they'll start to connect. And hopefully, long term, if as we continue to grow, we're creating more of a brand than just a product. And so we also have another business in here called House of Hot Dogs, and we do gourmet dogs as well. And sort of almost like a commissary kitchen kind of idea, multiple concepts out of the same space. And then we're going to be launching in the spring a gourmet ice cream sundae shop as well out of here.
Oh, wow. So you guys got quite a few things going on in there. Okay. And this is all based on your expertise and experience in the food industry.
Exactly. Yeah, you got it.
Okay. And how do you, I don't know much about it, but like, how do you come up with recipes all the time and know that your stuff is unique and it's going to catch?
Um, it's trial and error for sure. It's like I was saying before, figuring out if it'll work in a context of a cinnamon bun or not, and then trying it. And so far, we've had really good hits, and we want to keep up the trend, push the envelope a little bit, and then even with our savory buns, right? Like people are really enjoying. It's a great if you have a bowl of soup, you keep having rolls that you can just rip off and dip for the soup, and the savory buns have been doing really well as well. So
Okay. Yeah.
last week
No.
we made a pizza bun, so bocconcini, fresh basil, San Marzano tomatoes, and then all rolled up and baked just like a cinnamon bun would be. So
Sounds about right. No, that's awesome. Now the food industry or the restaurant industry is under a lot of stress lately. So how is it that you're able to grow and thrive while a lot of restaurants are struggling or maybe even going under right now?
well, for us, it was a matter of really picking a concept that worked for the current condition. So we don't have people even come into our building at all. We have an order window and we have a pickup window. So we keep people flowing. Nobody comes inside the building, so we don't have to worry about how crowds or how many people are 6 feet apart. We have tape on the sidewalk outside so they can be distanced out there. And we really built the whole concept around how we can move people through and get them on their way without either bottlenecking or having crowds. And so, without it being like a restaurant, full service restaurant, it's just a different vibe, and we're able to actually, see a lot of people in a day.
Okay. Now, what do you think is going to be the future of the restaurant industry moving forward? How do you see things for those types of businesses?
I think in general, like things like Uber Eats and Skip the Dishes and stuff. I think that's a model that will continue to be strong. But the unfortunate part of that is, and I know people struggle with those businesses because they take such a high percentage of the food. When you build out a restaurant and you have the overhead of really prime real estate, and you have all the staff, and you have even just the cutlery and plates and stuff alone, it's very, very expensive. And then now if you're all of a sudden pivoted and you're giving away 20 to 30% of your gross sales away to somebody that delivers your food, it's a very, very tough thing to survive under those conditions. So what we're seeing is that more and more people are designing restaurant concepts around the takeout and the delivery model. So they're figuring out ways to lessen their overhead so they can afford the delivery model. And that's basically what we did as well, is figure out how we can keep our overhead as low as possible, so that the part that you'd usually paying for dishwashers and all serving staff and everything else is budgeted in right from the start in the delivery fees. And so that's been a real help for us. But I think going forward, you'll see more and more restaurants that are like that. You might order from a restaurant or a kitchen that you don't even know where it is or where it exists from, and you still get the great quality food, and they don't even have a storefront at all. And I think that's the direction that a lot of restaurants are going in.
Very interesting. So it's yeah, so I mean the idea of I guess going out to eat and sitting down and dining in is going to be more of a dying breed, so to speak.
Well, I mean, there's always going to be the demand. People want to get together. They want to be face to face. But I think that when new concepts are coming out, they're going to have some form of budget to already allow for the takeout side. Maybe I know some places that are sort of bigger and more popular restaurants. They might have a full separate kitchen in a different location just for the skip the dishes or whatever. So they're not wrecking the flow of their own kitchen. People will always dine out. I mean, that's the reality. But with that said, more people are definitely ordering in than ever before, and I don't see that trend going away. I think people like. I have 2 young kids at home, and sometimes it's nice to get a restaurant cooked meal and not have to cook, but also not take young kids to restaurants, because sometimes that can be challenging too.
Right,
So
right.
we've actually enjoyed the service ourselves at home as well.
Yeah, no, it's a definitely a changing industry. And then what about kind of those food services like HelloFresh and things like that? Are they going to be around to stay, you think, for the long run?
Yeah, I know some people. I haven't used them personally yet, but I know some people that really enjoy using them, and it causes them to be able to cook, but still think outside their just. You always have your staple items that you go to, right? And I think services like that sort of expand people's borders of what they can cook and what they're comfortable with doing. And I've heard a lot of good things about what they bring to the table as well.
Okay, no, it's very interesting. Yeah, it's unique times for sure. And I guess for you guys, when you first started, I guess when you first got laid off, did you know immediately what you wanted to do next? Like with this concept, was this in the back of your mind already, or did it take some time to really kind of conjure it up? How did SinAmen Bun Co. How did you decide cinnamon buns?
Yeah, so definitely it was not on the table. January, if you talk to me New Year's Day, January 2020, that was not part of the equation for sure.
Okay.
Um, we had just gotten rid of. We had a restaurant and a pub, and 2019, and so it's a lot of work as a business owner, especially at a lot of staff, a lot of and with two young kids, we decided to do a wholesale change. We're going to get rid of our restaurants, and for at least a period of time, I was just going to take a job, work back at the lodge, and then guide as well. And we were just sort of just going to, have family time, guard that, and so COVID decided that that wasn't in the plans for us at all. And yeah, so then even when we started the cinnamon bun thing, at first it was just like, okay, we'll do this once a week, and it'll sort of help get us through until things change a little bit, and we can do something else. And I still hadn't planned on opening another restaurant at this point in our lives. And then when it just kept growing and kept getting busier, I couldn't ignore, I think, what we started, and decided that it was time to pursue it more, more vigorously.
Oh, it's amazing. And you guys, you just fortunately found a space to open a storefront conveniently.
Yeah, and this place actually was vacant for quite a while, and our fortunately we got really really good lease rates, and so that of course helps the bottom line as well. And when you have low overhead, it sure helps. And so the location, we couldn't be better, worked out better for us than what we have here for sure. And for a small town, it's a busy little corner now for sure.
No, no, that sounds amazing. And what do you find? Because you're obviously successful and growing very fast. What do you struggle with in terms of getting businesses off the ground? What do you find is your biggest weakness, would you say, if any?
Um, for sure, it's um, getting the team to the point where I can work the business instead of working in the business. Right now, it's been up until 2 weeks ago. Any bun that came out of here was personally baked by me, and so I would be here, come in midnight, 2 a.m., and I'd usually be here till 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoons, and then do it all again the next day. And then on Mondays when we're closed, doing the shopping, getting everything restocked, and doing all that. So for me, it's getting the staff in place, and it's working out. It's starting to get there now, where I don't have to be here the full time that we're either baking or open, and then I can work towards things like getting the food truck going, getting locations, working on our branding and our social media stuff better, doing a better job on that as far as really, like I say, building a brand, and exploring new opportunities for us to grow. And at this point, we've been definitely since the start, but even more so since the news article, it sort of feels like survival mode.
Ah,
We're doing well, we're getting through, but it hurts some days because it's a lot of work, and so getting to the point where it's comfortable for everybody, and we're not taxing the staff too much, and I'm not working 14 16-hour days, and really we guard our Sundays right now as family time for sure, but also getting to the point where like family day today, I'm calling you here from the shop here, and I just finished shopping, and I'm making some icings and stuff like that, getting ready for tomorrow, to the point where I don't have to do that. So a family day like today, we can actually spend with the family. That's the goal.
yeah, it sounds like the story of a typical small business owner wearing all the hats, the long hours. And you actually, a little bit of deja vu there. My father used to own a bakery when I was a kid. And as soon as you started talking about the 2 a.m. wake ups and stuff like that, middle of the night, I was like, oh, yeah, that sounds very familiar. I forgot about the life or the hours that a baker actually works. You're baking in the middle of the night so you can have fresh goods in the morning for the customers. And I remember that very vividly. My father putting in long hours, just like you in the beginning there. Yeah. So it's, wow. No, good on you for sure. It's, yeah, you guys got an amazing product there. And I just wanted to pick your brain. I mean, What's the long-term goal now? I guess now that you have this amazing business, what do you see yourself in 3 to 5 years with this?
Yeah, that's a good question. My wife and I talk a lot about that for sure. Our goal is to hopefully open a second location by October this year,
Wow.
as well as the food truck. So we're going to start there, and then what direction it goes from there, we'll have to see. We're unsure if we can build it into a model of being able to franchise, um, or we can look at it as sort of more of a corporate business where we can open multiple locations and maybe have a central kitchen and bring the buns to different locations and bake in one place. Or there's a number of things still. We're not trying to grow too fast. We want to do it really methodically, but we do believe there's opportunity there definitely for growth. And I think the next step is the food truck, and then after that, we are looking for October for another location as well. So
Nice. And whereabouts would you like to open your next location?
it will still be in the valley somewhere, anywhere Langley to Abbotsford area. We haven't done any due diligence yet on areas or what might meet our needs yet, but close enough where it's not a big deal to go to both stores in the same day and see what's going on and having a good handle on the business, right? So
Okay. Now, how does one decide to franchise or to just go corporate locations? What's the biggest factors in that decision?
Um, well, I'm actually talking with somebody that does consulting right now, and so we're still really early on that. But basically, as far as running a store, it's very similar in that you have to have very very good systems, and so you have to have everything down to the T as far as recipes, manuals, opening, closing, all of that stuff. It should be like a full complete package so that it runs very smoothly, regardless of who steps into what role. And so really what franchising is giving somebody the ability to replicate what we're already doing and make it as seamless as possible with as little experience as possible, right? Um, so that model allows other people to run with our business, um, or the model, or the other model. That way, if you sort of do it as a corporate store, is we still have our hand on each of the locations ourselves. So it's just two different strategies, and we're not sure which direction to go, and we're not trying to get ahead of ourselves either. But like you say, you got to set goals and you got to work towards something. And if we believe that it can be bigger than it is now, we want to be smart about it, but we want to pursue that.
Okay. No, it's great. Now you mentioned was it hot dogs and what other products were you going to be starting?
Yeah. So yeah, we have a house of hot dogs. We have a bunch of different gourmet dogs that we do, and then we're also doing a ice cream sundae concept as well. So we'll probably do like maple bacon ice cream with uh, uh, just different toppings like that, right? Like just really sort of stretching the limits, just like we do with the buns on flavors, and I think that'll be a lot of fun as well. Make
Okay.
some
And are these going to be separate shops or all in the cinnamon bun shop?
Yeah, they're all in the same shop, but they're all branded differently, and they all have their own social media accounts. And
Okay.
so we have like a parent company, um, uh, Cozy Blanket Food Group, and so everything that we do is under the sort of the guise of comfort food. And
Okay.
yeah, wrap your taste buds in comfort is sort of our concept. And so anything that we do will come under the umbrella of that. And so when you think cinnamon buns, people really like hot dogs. I mean, it's a basic food, but you can do some pretty cool stuff with it. But people really resonate with hot dogs. Oh, I had hot dogs as a kid. I love having a hot dog, something quick and easy to grab. Of course, ice cream sundaes. Who doesn't like that? So just sort of really resonating with comfort food and things that people want to grab, and it's a product that's quick as well.
Okay. And what do you think has been like your competitive advantage in terms of like your cinnamon buns versus Cinnabon or whoever else makes your similar product? What's the biggest, other than taste, I guess? What do you think is your advantage?
I think for us, it's the outside of the box flavors that like Cinnabon doesn't make a pecan pie sticky bun you know, we've done maple bacon before. We've done, you know, just a bunch of different flavors. We do a black forest. We do a whole bunch of things, and just playing with that. And I think our competitive advantage is people that I didn't know you could do that to a cinnamon bun, and then wanting to try it, right? And then delivering on what we say we're going to offer as well is obviously huge. So, you know, it, people really enjoy what we make, and that's definitely the difference as well.
Okay. Now, has that always been sort of your signature with your other businesses, just kind of being unique flavors, standing out in the marketplace like that with your other restaurants and things?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we definitely try to think outside the box, try to be creative, um, and you know, going with trends and stuff as well, but trying to sort of be ahead of that rather than catching up to it. And so that's always been what we've done. And we've, you know, I think each place that we've done, it's always sort of been comfort food stuff. Like we've done a barbecue place, yeah, just different concepts, and they all sort of seem to revolve around comfort foods. So I think that really resonates with us personally.
No, that's tremendous. Now, would you have any advice for struggling business owners right now, or anyone who's thinking about starting a business? Any pro tips?
Yeah, absolutely. Um, the first thing is there's no doubting yourself. You're either in or you're out. And I think having the confidence and having the ability to jump in when you know you have something good, um, and with that is having the support of other people that have been there before you as well. I'm fortunate enough to know some people that help me out as well. And I'm never going to be a point where I know everything, and I'm never going to be to the point where I don't need help as well. And I think for business owners, sometimes it can feel isolating because if you have your friends that work, and I'm sure you know this as well, that work their 9 to 5s and their benefits and everything else, it's a different lifestyle, and it's a different path than a lot of people choose. But having the confidence in yourself to actually pursue it, but then also having the support in place that you're not isolated and you're not feeling like you're the only person that's working those crazy hours or having to meet those goals or whatever, right? And I think that's really really important. Um, you know, also due diligence, know your numbers before you start. Restaurant industry is notorious for low margins, right? So you have to know what you're getting into before you start. It's not enough to know that grandma's recipe for spaghetti everybody loves. You have to know what it actually costs to make, what the labor is, what everything else is before you even know how to price it, what your overhead has to be. And so really, really, really do your due diligence before you open up. But once you decide, go with full reckless abandon and just pursue it with everything you got. And that's how dreams become reality, right? Is that pursuit and the ability to not listen to the no's and pursue the yeses.
Okay, no, valuable advice, very valuable. Um, have you had any failed businesses in the past? I know you have a success now, but any failures you like to speak of?
Um, there's within successes, there's always failures as well, right? We were at a point where we did take on a partner in one of our businesses, and that did not end well. And I wouldn't say, I would say for me, I won't do a partnership with anybody again. But with that said, going into any form of partnership like that, what our mistake wasn't so much in doing the partnership but was not having clear, defined expectations and contracts in place. And so that burnt us. I take full responsibility for that, but definitely, uh, you know, if you do, that's where we've had a hit for sure. And yeah,
Okay, yeah, no, I've also have suffered the same consequence once upon a time as well. Partnerships are tough, and exactly like if it's not clear expectations, and every partner is bringing equal value to the table, things can get pretty dicey pretty quick. So no, I understand you there for sure.
my realtor once told me, he said, we were talking about leases, but it's the same with a partnership or with anything else. The reason why you have these big leases and these big contracts, they're never for when things go right. They're only for when things go wrong. And so, even if you're the most positive person in the world, you got to cover your butt with those things, and that was a lesson learned. And um, yeah, they're only for when things go wrong, and hopefully things don't go wrong.
Yeah.
But cover yourself if they do.
No, absolutely. Now, is there anything that you would like to learn more as a business owner that you'd currently, that's not in your arsenal yet, that you would like to add to your arsenal?
Yeah, for sure. And part of what I'm trying to learn right now is definitely sort of the more branding side. I'm a back of house guy. Stick me in a kitchen somewhere, and I'm happy just to cook to my heart's content. I know the numbers, I know the ordering, I know all that stuff, but really working on sort of social media and the branding and the public image, that type of stuff, and that's definitely a weaker side of mine personally. And so I'm trying to get mentored in that a little bit right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's definitely, and that's a skill set that we'll need for generations to come now, with social media being the kind of the main currency, so to speak.
Right.
No, absolutely. And what sorry here, I lost my train of thought. Um, if you were to, if, I guess, if you were to, what's your favorite business you've had of all the businesses you've run?
Oh boy. We owned a golf course for 6 years,
Oh, wow.
and it was a lot of fun. Yeah,
Okay.
a golf teaching pro as well, and so got to play a lot of golf. Um, but we did a lot of we built up the clubhouse side. The golf course itself was, it held its own, but the clubhouse side itself was really suffering. So we built the restaurant side, and then we were doing like 40 plus weddings a year by the time we finished there. It was from zero weddings, and within 6 years, we were doing like over 40 weddings a year there. And so that was a lot of fun. That was a neat business, and it was much like the fishing lodge. It's very seasonal. So
Okay.
we, before we had kids, we would get to act like old retired people in winter and go south or do different things. So that was a lot of fun.
Ah, wow. No, you've definitely had your hand in many pots for sure. Interesting. And how do you decide to just what business you want to go into? Seems like you do a lot of different things.
For us, it comes down to opportunity. Um, Much to the chagrin, I think, of my wife sometimes. I see opportunity, and then I don't necessarily pound the door down, but if it's something that's door seems to be opening, I'm willing to walk through. And again, like our first business was a failed coffee shop that was a franchise, and it just didn't work out. And so we were able to get the location that was already fully built out, all the equipment there, basically for pennies on the dollar. And so um, it, I told my wife, how can we not do this?
Yeah, yeah. And
So,
why did it fail, do you think?
what's that? Why did
Why
it fail?
yeah, why did it fail?
It was poorly run. It was somebody that bought a franchise that had never been in the industry before, and really, yeah, just it was just poorly managed, and small town. And I think they didn't have the personality you need in a small town to be able to build a loyal uh, customer base as well. And so it was a place that I had tried a number of times and wanted to like, and never could quite get there. And then when they closed down, um, a few months later, I told my wife, we drove by, there was this phone number on the window. I said, I'm not really interested, but I'm just going to call. And so I did, and the rest was history. We ended up buying it and opening up. And,
Wow. Crazy, crazy. Now you mentioned restaurants have small margins.
yeah.
Why do so many people open restaurants if the margins are so slim and the the risk of failure is so high?
Uh, a lot of people have passion for food, but not necessarily understand the back end of the business in the nuts and bolts. So, like just because you have a really good recipe for spaghetti from your grandma doesn't mean it'll translate necessarily into a successful Italian restaurant. And I think that there's a lot of people that have dreams because we resonate so much with food, just in general. I think they think, okay, my dream is to own a restaurant or whatever, right? Without understanding the business side of it. I think that's why a lot of restaurants start and close quickly, because it's a lot more work than you would anticipate, and it's a lot tighter margins than you know like as an independent restaurant, if you're 8% is a well-run restaurant on your
Wow.
gross. Yeah, 8-10% margins are pretty standard. Yeah, franchises, well-run franchise is a little bit more, and of course they have buying power and stuff like that as well. Um, but yeah, yeah, you gotta be on top of it, and labor can get away from you so fast in restaurants as well. If you're not turning tables, if you're not doing that, if you have staff costs are just really high as well. And that's why I was saying before with sort of changing to the delivery model, um, it, it it costs you, but you are saving so much in other areas if you plan the business from the start to be able to do that. You're just changing where you're putting your money in, going to the delivery service rather than to the serving staff and the overhead of a more expensive building and piece of real estate, right? So, um, yeah, I think that's why people struggle so much, though. I think they don't understand, really how hard it is to make a go of a restaurant.
Oh, oh wow. And what's been the most challenging business you've ever run? Where you're like, oh my goodness, I'm in way over my head here.
Um, we had a cafe and a pub that was in a hotel, and it ramped up very very fast, and it was really struggling to even stay open at all. And we within a year we had upped the sales by about 4 times what it was doing previously, and it was fast, and it was hard to catch up to the volume we were doing, and to keep that level of service, and then all the new staff and new cooks and everything else. That was overwhelming for us. Um, I'm glad we did it, but we could have probably done it a little slower. I don't know how you do it. It's not like you can keep people away that want to eat at your place,
Yeah.
but it was overwhelming though, for sure.
Oh, interesting. So it sounds like your problem is always excess demand. You never have a problem getting people in the door, sounds like.
Yeah, we've been pretty busy at all our businesses, really, for sure.
No, that's great. That's awesome. And where can everyone find SinAmen Bun Co. and all of your lovely products?
Okay, so first of all, I would recommend if somebody's coming out from anywhere outside of Chilliwack, really, I would recommend that they pre-order, and they can do that either through Instagram or Facebook. We are working on a Shopify site right now, and so hopefully that'll make it even easier to pre-order just through our website. But for now, it's just through Facebook or Instagram, and it's SinAmen Bun Co. So SinAmen Bun Co. And you can find us Instagram or Facebook. And then physically, we're at the corner of Yonge and Chilliwack Central, right in the heart of Chilliwack.
Awesome. Sounds great. I'm like I said, I'm itching to give you guys cinnamon buns a try. You guys look have an amazing product, and your timing couldn't have been better. And I wish you guys all the success. We'll be following your journey, and yeah, it's been a pleasure talking to you, Kerry.
You too. I sure appreciate you doing this.
Yeah, awesome. And yeah, we'll hopefully be in touch in the near future when our app is up and running, and hopefully you guys can be a part of that. And if not, we'll definitely be in contact again.
Appreciate it.
All right, take care, Kerry.